Hey guys, we're back again with another 5th gen Ram video. They've been doing pretty well on the channel, so I figured I would just keep it going. I got the truck pulled inside here. I was just torquing down the lug nuts again there after switching the tire and rim setup back again. I'll go into why I went back to the tires. I know in the last video I had the other tires on for the winter. I'll mention that. But I got the idea to do a video today on the truck as kind of like a way to log what I've done and how the truck's performed over the years. As most of you guys know by now, if you've been following the channel, it's a 2020 Ram 2500 Laramie. It's got the Cummins diesel. Truck just crossed over 70,000 kilometers for everybody in the world except for the American folks. But that's like 43,500 miles, I think, if I'm good at math. Somewhere around there. It's around 43,000 miles anyway. So I figured I would just do little follow-up videos every now and then, maybe every 6 months, every year, just to kind of document how many miles I'm at, what I've done for maintenance, and any sort of issues I've had along the way. Starting now at 70,000 kilometers, like I said, or 43,000 miles, I'm going to jump into it. I'm going to go through the whole truck of everything I've done since the day I bought it, all the warranty, the recalls, any of the issues I've had, things I've done to it as far as lift tires, what I would do differently. And then you guys can follow along and hopefully get some ideas as to whether this truck is what you want or not. And if so, how to go about maintaining it yourself. Because I do all my own maintenance now, unless it's anything big. Like if it blew the engine, I'm not going to change it in my garage probably. I would tackle anything else myself, so you guys can kind of follow along. And I'll keep a little playlist going too. I've been putting them all in a 5th gen Ram playlist. So if there's anything you want to see about this specific truck, you can check there. And if there's something I haven't made a comment or made a video about, drop it in the comments below and feel free to ask questions. I've also been kind of talking with a few aftermarket suppliers regarding some sponsorship opportunities. I just want to look into the products a little more. I really want to know what I'm getting involved with if I was to take on any sponsorships. I want to be able to provide you guys the best products, the best information, the best quality stuff. So I'm definitely doing my own research on all those before I agree to anything like that. And then hopefully maybe in the near future, we'll be able to start rolling with some information, some products, some new things to try, what's good, what's bad, and we'll be able to bring that to you guys too. So I guess the best place to start with the truck is how I use it every day, my usage. As you can see, the truck is lifted and everything. It spends more than 50% of its life off-road on old gravel roads, tight bush trails. It gets used and abused quite a bit. It's not by any means a pavement princess or whatever you guys want to call those. It does go to car shows and stuff once in a while when it gets cleaned up, and obviously it's not mint, but it gets used. It does spend most of its time off road, so if that's something that you guys also do, then a lot of this will apply. So when it comes down to these trucks and any vehicle, I guess, that you're looking into getting, probably your most important thing would be reliability. You want to be able to buy a truck or a car, something that you're going to be able to actually get in, turn the key, and go for a drive with. As far as that, this truck has been incredible. It's been mentioned before that I have 43,000 miles, 70,000 kilometers for anybody else in the world. It's been pretty good reliability-wise. The only issue that I've had with these trucks, which is something that you can definitely do something about very easily, as long as you're willing to designate it as an off-road only vehicle, would be to remove the emissions equipment. Now, I know there might be some tree huggers out there that don't agree with that, but based on what I think, I definitely agree with getting rid of it. Now, this truck is emissions intact. With that being said, 3 times it's been in the shop for emissions related recalls, warranty work. Luckily, they know that the emission system sucks, so they give you a way longer warranty on them than the remainder of their powertrain and everything else. The emission system itself has warranty, and it's needed because it's junk. I've had issues with the EGR, the DEF system, the DPF's plugged up because it doesn't do regens properly. All of that would be avoided if you just spent the $2,000, $3,000 to delete it, or even buy the parts yourself, do it for $1,500 if you can find some good quality products. But yeah, reliability wise, truck's been awesome. It's everything else, the engine, transmission, the rest of the drivetrain hasn't skipped a beat. Every electronic works in it. All the mirror motors being highly trimmed. It's got lots of extra stuff. Like it's got the power folding mirrors, the 7,000 way adjustable heated and cooled seats, heated seats in the back. All that works. Everything works electronically. Never had an issue. One of the things that lots of people complain about is right here, the mirrors. Lots of people say that on the 4th and 5th gen Ram trucks, the mirrors were done very poorly. And I'll show you why. So the reason everybody says that is they say that, especially on the passenger side mirror, I've seen people complain that this is a magnified mirror, which I don't entirely agree with, but I've seen complaints about that. And then this mirror apparently doesn't provide you enough blind spot, sight, whatever. I don't know if it's just me and they seem to work amazing, or if other people seem to complain about them because they don't know how to adjust their mirrors, but they work great. When I have, as you can see, I'm running wides, right? Like you look down the back, you can see how wide they are. They're not super wide, but they stick out quite a bit. This truck spends all its time in the bush. When I look in this mirror right here, anytime I'm out in the bush, I can see back this section of the truck where I'm looking here. You can see the tires, you can see the mud flap, you can see the back bumper, that tail lights. You can see where everything is. So if you're navigating down a trail around rocks, stumps, sticks, trees, trying to turn around, these are great, both sides. I might even hop in to see if I can show you what I mean. So I'm in the truck here, and this is my sight right here. This phone is right in front of me, and that's what you can see when you look out the mirror. So you can see here, you can see behind you, you can have this spot covers all your blind spots. If you lean a little bit, you can move around. Like obviously my head's not stuck in one place. I can see all behind me here. This one shows, like I said, you can see the tire, you can see the whole back of the truck. Anything you were trying to navigate around makes it super easy. Same thing with the passenger side. You can see where you want to see there, and the mirror on the right-hand side shows you down by the tire, it shows you up, it shows you all around. You have no blind spots as far as right close to your truck. And the amount of times I've seen that online, videos, everything, that these mirrors are garbage because you can't see close to the truck. I don't know why. I don't know what people complain about. I don't know if there's maybe these mirrors for some reason are different. These are what it came with 2020. No idea. It's never been an issue for me. A couple things I have noticed about this truck compared to two of the 4th gens that I've had. I had a 2017 Laramie. I believe it was on the channel. It was a white one. And then I have a 2014 SLT as well. Both of those trucks and this one all rode completely different. I don't know if it was what was done to the suspension wise, if it was the years they made changes. The 2014, without a doubt, rides the best. This truck rides a little bit more rigid. Being a 3/4 ton, that's kind of to be expected. Like it's not a Cadillac. You don't cruise around town just floating on a cloud. It's a little bit more aggressive. You get a little bit more of a bucking feeling from the back end when you're driving, if you're going over any big bumps or anything. I mean, part of that can be attributed to the broken shocks that I seem to run 9 times out of 10, which I've been in the process of dealing with. I just think these shocks are junk. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to switch the shocks out and see if that makes much of a difference. But this truck, even from factory without these shocks, with the stock shocks, which I believe I actually have, yeah, right here. Shocks it came with even, it bucked. Those are Bilsteins. And then right now it's got the lift shocks from BDS, whatever they are, the NX ones. Both of them, this truck bucked a little more. My 2017 was really bad. It bucked really hard. The 2017 had airbags in it, actually, and it helped if you'd run like 5-10 PSI, whatever the minimum was. It really softened the ride, so I might be doing something with this truck. This truck rides rough. If you're looking for something that you're just going to daily and you're not willing to sacrifice a little bit of ride quality for the towing capacity, I wouldn't recommend it. But this truck, as far as I'm concerned, it outperforms with the towing capacity. You can sacrifice a little bit of ride because this thing tows my camper. It tows the double wide sled trailer with multiple sleds on it, multiple ATVs side by sides. Tows all of that, obviously, like any truck should, no problem. And it does it well. It actually tows really nice, and it drives way better loaded up. If I put 1,000 pounds in the back of the truck or big trailer or whatever, it drives way better just because you're using the springs a little more. But that is one thing that after 50,000 miles, roughly, I've noticed, is this 5th gen rides rougher than the 4th gens, and the older 4th gens rode better than that even. So one thing to keep in mind if you're kind of on the fence about one, if you really want a soft ride, maybe steer away from the 5th gen unless you want to spend a bunch of money upgrading the suspension to like a Thurin or a Carly suspension. Maybe that would help. But I haven't done that. A couple of the complaints I do have too that go with the truck is The factory mud flaps on the truck, front and back, sucked. That was before the truck was lifted on factory tires. They didn't seem to stop anything from actually just sandblasting the rocker panels off. Most of this, well, you can't really tell because the truck's filthy right now. But up in here, there's a whole bunch of paint chips all in through here. All of those, with the exception of a few maybe, were before I ran wides, were before I put the kickback flaps on. So biggest thing I would say is if you're going to buy a truck, brand new, buy a 5th gen, get longer flaps right from the start. You want longer mud flaps, something that covers, like, these are kickbacks. I know, like, there's Husky kickbacks, there's Trigger Industries. All of them are great. Run something a little better, especially if you're going to go up in the wheel and tire size. These ones are definitely way better than the factory ones. The factory ones only stick down a little bit. They don't seem to stop anything. So then it costs whatever to repaint the rockers if you were going to do it. The other thing is too, these rockers on the paint on this truck don't seem to be the greatest. I know after a certain amount of miles, rocks hitting it, that's inevitable. But I know it's dirty. Once again, my fault. But anytime, like, I don't drag my boots across here, that's just like pant legs rubbing. It eventually is taking this off. Now I get there's grit and sand and everything, so that's to be given. That's not really something I should even complain about. But if you were to buy this truck brand new, I would recommend getting some 3M clear stuff there. Or I don't even know, they might make like a stick-on sill, door sill here to put. I would do something like that just to keep this from happening, because I mean, all I'm going to have to do is sand that and paint it and fix it up. It'll be no big deal. But it is just something that kind of sucks on a couple-year-old truck. You're already starting to see rust show through. And I think my last complaint about the 5th gen Ram truck in the first 50,000 miles was the stock running boards. I'll try to show a picture on the screen of what they looked like before. They were just the solid mounted. The previous ones had 3 mounting points. They had one mounted here. There was another bracket here, and then one at the back, and they were kind of oval shaped or whatever, like an oval round thing with a flat bar on top and 2 side steps. They were junk, absolutely garbage. I had them on the truck. They were put on brand new. The truck was like a year and a half old, maybe. It had seen a little bit of, I mean, I'm in Canada, right? Don't take care of the roads at all. All we do is we just dump more salt on it. That's pretty much the only solution, I guess, around here. But it's not plow it or nothing. So they just keep dumping salt on. So everything turns white. As soon as you get any snow, just salt trucks out like crazy. It absolutely ate through those running boards. When I took them off, you couldn't even use them. Like, you couldn't stand on them. You couldn't, a 15-pound kid wouldn't be able to stand on them. They would have just snapped right off. You had to go around and up and over them, which now they're just in the way when they're on there and you can't use them. So I switched to the amp steps. And anybody who is looking to buy in one of these trucks, if you're anywhere that they use salt, I know up in the northern United States, I think some of the places use salt, and then some places like Ontario uses it. I don't think Alberta and Saskatchewan use salt, or not much if they do. So it shouldn't be an issue. But if you are in a salt area, make sure you change those or put on better ones. Like, don't take the factory ones. The factory ones just don't cut it. Those are really the only complaints though I've had in the first 50,000 miles or so, 70,000 kilometers. The truck has been great. It's been used, it's been abused, it's lifted, it's on wide tires. I haven't had major issues with it, thankfully. As most people wouldn't, I mean, you wouldn't expect to have that in 40,000 miles or whatever. But it's been a great truck overall. And I think I'm going to try to keep this series up maybe every 6 months or whatever. I always follow all the recommended maintenance. Like, if it says to change the oil at 5,000 miles, that's when I change it. If it says to change the air filter at this many miles, that's when I change it. Fuel filter, same thing. I always follow that. When I pop the tires on and off, because I switch from summers to winters here because I want to run better, something to keep it on the road in the wintertime, I always check, make sure there's no play in the steering, make sure the front end's good, make sure the bearings are all good and the wheels. Try to check over all that stuff. If you keep up on your maintenance, everything will last. But yeah, I'll try to keep up on these videos maybe in 6 months or so, depending on how many miles I put on between now and then. I'll try to throw another video together as an update at, I don't know, 80, 90, 100,000 kilometers or whatever, 50, 60, 70,000 miles, wherever I get to. I'll throw another video up, and if anything has changed, if any recalls have been done, I have recalled The CP4 was recalled. That's been changed to a CP3. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else for recalls. I don't recall. That's funny. But anyway, yeah, I've been trying to keep up on all those. Everything's been done if there was anything to be done. So that's the best way to do it as far as I'm concerned. And I definitely don't think you can go wrong with these trucks at all. I do have to appreciate everybody that's made it this far in the video and everybody that's been watching the videos. The channel's doubled in subscribers and views have gone up like to thousands a day instead of the 25, 30 a day. So it's definitely given me a little more motivation. So if you've made it this far and you could give me a like and subscribe and drop a comment below of anything you want to see, I'd love to keep rolling with these videos. I'm actually enjoying it quite a lot, getting a little better at the editing thing. And yeah, but anyway, appreciate your support, guys.